Distinguished Executive Chairman, Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, Kaji Aminul Islam, the distinguished co-chairman, Mr. Shinichi Aburaya of Japan-Bangladesh Committee for Commercial and Economic Cooperation, Her Excellency Ms. Rabab Fatima, Bangladesh Ambassador to Japan, Madam Rubana Haq, President BGMA, Secretaries to the Government and other high officials, distinguished business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and konnichiwa to my good friends from Japan. Allow me to begin by congratulating BIDA and all the relevant entities in Bangladesh for hosting this important visit at a very important time. I'm recalling the recent visit, very successful visit by Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to Japan, where she had very meaningful interaction with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and she had also had a great breakfast meeting with many of you in Tokyo. And this visit is taking place on the heels of that successful visit. And recently I have been also in other settings where I had seen the distinguished investors from Japan came to Bangladesh, and they not only renewed their contacts here, but also came forward with new ideas and new concepts. I was very happy to note that you are all developing what in Bangladesh we know as a Japanese model of investment. So I think you have been authoring this model. I know that in Japan you also talk about Bangladesh model of investment, and as I meet in different policy settings, I'm seeing that these two models are taking good shape. So I'm very happy to be with all of you here. Let me now do justice to the written script that I have been provided. I've seen that it's very well drafted written speech, and for the first time in many weeks, I have decided to restrict my next few minutes on this written text. It's very good, well written text. So once again, it gives me great pleasure to join you today for this networking session happening on the sidelines of the 4th Japan-Bangladesh Public-Private Joint Economic Dialogue. As I look at this audience, I'm filled with confidence about the shared future, not only shared future, but also shared vision, shared future, and also shared responsibilities that bind our two nations. Bangladesh and Japan are friends in the truest sense of the word. Our people feel the high value of this relationship, and our leaders have been working persistently to take this tie to the next level. So many of us are gathered here today because of our leaders have been very persistent and successful. And you know that our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Nojibur Rahman, the father of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, paid his visit to Japan back in 1973. And Bangladesh has grown heavily from Japanese philosophy. And our flags, our two flags, they talk to each other, that they have been a common foundation. And this time, I'm very happy to tell you that there was a presentation of budget in the National Parliament last month. And the presentation itself was drawn heavily from the Japanese history. How did the Meiji Restoration take place in Japan, and how Japan rebuilt its economy was discussed in the course of budget presentation. So Japan is not only in words in Bangladesh, but also in real deeds and action. So before I begin, I want to thank our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Honorable Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe, who met recently, as I alluded to already, for their visionary leadership. Japanese business confidence in Bangladesh is on a record high and evident by your presence here, as found by JETRO in their latest study. The study, the theory and practice talk about the same thing. This for us is a great source of pride. Bangladesh, as you already know, is among the fastest growing nations in the world. We have been growing rapidly for a decade to achieve 8.13% GDP growth in the last fiscal. Per capita income, all of you know, and many of you who are new, I'm happy to inform you that per capita income is rising and inflation is decreasing. Poverty has fallen to a record low from 42% in 2005-06 to almost close to 21% currently. Last year we posted 68% FDI growth, the world's highest rate. But this has to be then communicated to people with all its different manifestation. BIDA has been working hard, but there is always a room for greater emphasis on what are the factors that led to the growth of FDI and what are the challenges in the days ahead. As I said this, I cannot help but think of Japan and the development route it has followed. Our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Nojibur Rahman, inspired us to follow the Japanese transition process from agrarian society to industrial one, focusing on farm mechanization. As a developing nation, Bangladesh looks to Japan as a source of support and inspiration. Bangladesh also looks to Japan for investment that leads to high value activities based on the world's best technologies and innovation. And just now, in the form of our small networking, our ambassador Ms. Rabab Fatima has mentioned that how you are now focusing on manufacturing big ticket manufacturing issues. Automobile industry, for example, has a lot of opportunities. And in course of my last 5 years interaction with Japanese investors, 3 years in National Board of Revenue as its chairman and almost nearly 2 years as principal secretary, I'm seeing that your vision is growing bigger and bigger. So you can definitely now come forward to harness the opportunities that exist on the ground in the field of automobile industry. For example, Honda is definitely shining now. Thanks to my colleagues in NBR, they created the right taxation policy, and also alongside our own domestic industry, like I'm seeing the chief of runner here, they are also making a good progress. Another emerging field, as the ambassador rightly pointed out, will be the deep sea fishing. Deep sea fishing is another area where you can think about investing in more and more quantity, quality. Honorable Prime Minister has been underlining the importance of harnessing the potentials of blue economy. Blue economy, we have the big maritime areas where we can offer opportunities for you. Bangladesh offers the best business opportunities to its foreign friends who come to invest here and flourish here. Foreign investors are eligible to take advantage of a wide range of generous tax concessions and other fiscal incentives. We have bilateral investment treaties with 32 countries and avoidance of double taxation treaties with 28 countries, including our great friend Japan. We have undertaken major infrastructure development schemes to ensure seamless connectivity, energy security, food security, and a better understanding of living. And I can recall that during my time at National Board of revenue. My colleagues like Mr. Kanan Kumar Wright, a member tax policy, they worked hard to create smile on the faces of Japanese investors, for example. We started with Honda. The former ambassador, Mr. Watanabe, used to come. Sometimes I used to see gloomy face. So I then challenged the colleagues in NBR with the task of creating smile on his face. And Mr. Watanabe used to leave NBR telling me that he is now, and he didn't have to tell, I was seeing that he was smiling. And the big smile, huh? The economic zone, also the economic zone, the economic zone boss is sitting close to me. And I was about to mention that we are working to set up 100 special economic zones, including one for Japanese investors. And Bhaban Chaudhary made me and my colleagues work hard and harder to make that possible, to create a package of incentives that is unparalleled in the region. Thanks to him. I think we can give him a big round of applause. Alongside the BIDA executive chairman, he used to meet me regularly in NBR, and he had his idea of creating a small forum of investment promotion cell that would work regularly with NBR and its hardworking colleagues to create better and better opportunities for our investors. The 1,000-acre land exclusively for Japanese investors is being built at Araihajar Upazila in Naranganj, a prime location near the capital city, Dhaka. And I was very happy to be there last month at the signing ceremony. In the Moishkali Matarbari Integrated Infrastructure Development Initiative, MIDI, I'm not seeing Ambassador Izumi. Ambassador Izumi almost is considering MIDI as his new child. He is looking after all the issues so minutely that whenever he gets opportunity, he follows his what we call the dinner diplomacy. Like 72 hours back, I was with him at a dinner party. The state minister for environment was visiting, and he was just telling me, please come to meet the state minister. So after a very busy day, I thought that this is only exchange of greetings with the visiting state minister. But I tell you, Ambassador Izumi meant no free dinner. We had to earn the dinner. We had to discuss tough issues, including coming back with the information that all of you are arriving Dhaka, and he said Japanese mean just in time. So they will be arriving in Dhaka. So Principal Secretary will have to be there at the networking session alongside the BIDA executive chairman and many of our leaders. So I was basically now counting down the time 10 a.m. So I arrived here at 9:50 to be in line with Japanese just in time. And to tell you very frankly that I sometimes visit academies and I talk about Japanese total quality management, TQM, your Kaizen and other issues. I had created one good governance and modern management model in NBR on the basis of the Japanese total quality management, which my colleagues are still pursuing. I'm very happy. So MIDI is a fast-track initiative to set further transform Bangladesh for the better. There is large presence and involvement of Japanese companies, including in joint venture project. And I had visited MIDI on 5th of February this year, and I reported to Honorable Prime Minister. My expression is seeing is believing. I was hearing a lot of big sound words and images, but I saw it for myself that the realities and development that were happening and is happening on the ground. Under the JICA sponsored Power System Master Plan 2016, Japan is helping Bangladesh create robust infrastructure for energy import to develop domestic energy resources, high quality power system, green energy as well as policy and human capital for stable energy supply. We are very comfortable with Japanese technology. This inbuilt in this built in Bangladesh. This is anywhere you go, the people, even ordinary people would know what Japan is doing now in Bangladesh and how it helped Bangladesh to be on the right track of development. The friendship bridge I was part of during my brief stint in the Foreign Office. I was part of many inaugurations with the support of Japan. So I'm very happy to be here. If I continue naming the project, the list will be very long, and I don't like to put before you a laundry list, but I say that the activities that have been given, supported by Japan, is really serving the people, maximizing benefit to the small men and women on the ground. And it shows that just how integral Japan's involvement is in all aspects of our development plans. On behalf of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, I offer full support for establishing Japanese businesses that will, without doubt, bring us closer to our goals. In fact, today's networking session will be a good platform to discuss future business and investment opportunities. And as you know, that the government of the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is very business friendly, philosophically, practically. And if you see the composition of the current cabinet, 12 senior ministers are from the private sector. I think Madam BGMA President must acknowledge that the government is now very much tilting towards the private sector. The public sector is fully supportive of the private sector. So in order to set the scene for better collaboration for today and tomorrow and the days ahead, we have identified the ITS, automobile, leather and footwear, as well as power and energy as the potential sector for Japanese investment. The discussions and networking among the business leaders of two countries may open more doors of opportunities. I hope that you all will make the best use of today's opportunities. I'm excited to find out that today has been a great day for all of us, very sunny outside, full of opportunities, and inside you will all definitely envision a better future. We are confident about our goals, which is why I greatly look forward to creating lasting bonds with some of the world's best business minds present in this room today. Now let us begin our day, which I hope will be very fruitful. We believe Japan and its people will always be with us on our transformative journey towards irreversible growth. And let me end with a Japanese proverb. I think Rabab was serving Ambassador Rabab, my very affectionate colleague, who was serving in Geneva, and I was serving in Dhaka. We were attending the World Conference on Disaster Reduction in Kobe, Higo Prefecture. And that was the beginning of the Higo framework of action. Someone shared with us a proverb which I'm remembering almost on a daily basis. It says, "A vision without action is daydream. Action without vision is nightmare." Today I'm very happy, I'm seeing a happy marriage between the vision and the action in this room. And the networking session will take us a long way. So I wish you Godspeed. Thank you for your attention.